You guys asked for a tutorial on this look, so I will absolutely do that. This is the Jane Iredale Tinted Serum. Notice that I had the beauty filter on, so I just took that off. Now I'm taking a little bit of concealer. This is the NARS Soft Matte Concealer, and I'm just placing this a little under my eyes, in this little area, down the sides of my nose, a little bit to spot conceal over anything that's still kind of peeking through, just a smidge. Highlight the center of my forehead. I'm gonna use my foundation brush to blend this out. I typically start with my eyes when I'm doing a look. This one, there's not really any fallout that's gonna happen. Plus, I find like I can get a little bit more of a smudgier effect if I don't do my eyes first, and use that as a base for my eyeshadow and to kind of like carve out the bottom of my eyebrow. I'm going to take some of the Charlotte Tilbury cream bronzer in the shade 1 Fair because I am pale. And I'm doing a different placement than what I normally do. I'm taking this, and because I have kind of a rounder face, I want to like slim this out. So I'm going to place this here, but also kind of in this general direction, which looks scary, but I promise it will turn out good. So kind of shading in this area right here. See how that's gonna make my face look just slimmer. I am gonna do a little on the top of my forehead just because I want to shrink my forehead a little bit. Also just a little on the sides of my temples because I have a little bit more of a squared off forehead, but contour accordingly. Going to run that up the side of my nose, meeting up with my eyebrow right there, and then I am going to kind of tuck it under my nose too. Go back in with that foundation brush and just tapping this out. Get to my jaw, I'm just kind of like bringing it down. Just make sure you bring things back into your hairline. It's really not even like super strongly noticeable in person. It's very subtle and just like sculpts your face very beautifully. Then I'm just gonna take this down the sides of my nose. Taking some of the Talk is Cheek cream blush from The Balm in the shade Lecture, and I'm going to place this kind of on my cheekbone, and then we're blending. Just tapping that out until there's no harsh lines. I took what was ever left on the brush from that blush and just put it up onto my forehead so that the tones were cohesive. Now for the moment you've been waiting for, the eyes. I'm going in with my Unveiled palette, and I'm going to be focusing on this lower row down here. Dipping into this Kenai Kisses shade. It's kind of just like a bone white shade. I'm going to use that to set all over my eyes, making sure that I'm tapping out any little crease that might have formed before I've done this. Bringing that all the way up under my brow bone. Now for the whole smoky beautifulness that is this eyeshadow, I'm going to go in the shade Unity right here, which is a very deep taupey shade. Using an angled brush, and I'm starting under my eye about midway, going really thin towards the inner corner like that, and then letting it thicken up a little towards the outer corner. And then I'm going to use the brush this way so that the point will flick out, and I'm going to let that just extend past my eye, and then we're reconnecting it at the lash line on the top. Kind of like that, just creating like a nice little wing. And then I stamped it towards my inner corner. Grab a little bit more, and I'm gonna take my brush and like flick it upwards from that line so that it looks even softer and even smudgier. What is ever left on the brush, I'm going to follow my crease to that tip of that point of the little wing we've created. You can even go from that to here. I did grab a little bit more just because I needed it. It's gonna look crazy for a second, but you're just gonna grab a bigger, fluffier brush with nothing on it and just run it over the edge. A little bit of a definition in the crease without like taking away from that smoky eyeliner look. For the inner corner, you're gonna take that same eyeshadow on the same brush, and you want the point to be facing your nose, and you just wanna line up from the edge of your inner corner right here. I like to look to the side so that the eye is like kind of out of the way, if that makes sense. And I just stamp and then connect it on the bottom, kind of like that. And you have that nice, beautiful like structure for your sultry eye. Now I'm gonna go into the shade Not a Bridezilla, which is black. And I'm gonna take this kind of at the base of that line that we just created, just to deepen it up. So really close to your lash line. And then when you get to the wing part, just kind of like flicking it up into that wing that we. Same on the bottom. We're just gonna go nice and close to the lash line, just to create a little extra depth to the eye look. See how this one's more of like gray tones, and this starts to make it be a little darker. Now I'm gonna add on quite a few coats of the Jane Iredale Lash Fixation Tubing Mascara. Key is that it's tubing, so it will build on itself really nicely. A second layer, making sure to pull these outer lashes towards the direction of your eyeliner, so kind of outwards a little bit more. Then for the bottom lashes, I did do quite a bit of mascara on the bottom lashes as well, just to really bulk it up so that the eyes would add a lot of the focus. This is how that eye is looking. I know that the base of our eyeshadow, like the lids, is pretty light, so don't worry if you got any mascara on that. Let it fully dry like I just did, then take a blank spoolie, like nothing on it, and you can literally flick it away. Taking that same spoolie, I'm just gonna roll this through my lashes to make sure there's no random little clumps. And I lined my waterline and tight lined my eyes with the Urban Decay 24/7 eyeliner pencil. This is literally down to the nub for me. This is the shade 0. It's my absolute favorite for waterline. It's just so good. Then to powder my face, I use the Huda Beauty Pound Cake powder. I'm just taking that on like a tapered face brush, and I just set right up under my eyes right here and along the sides of my nose. This powder is so nice and blurring. I also took that right on my chin, kind of in like my T-zone area, I guess. I feel like matte, at least for me, is making a bit of a comeback, and a lot of my brides have really been requesting like a matte look. I feel like there's a good balance right now of brides that are asking for matte looks and brides that are asking for glowy looks. Then for my lips, I kept it super simple, but did kind of like cool the tone of them down with a little bit of the Too Faced Lip Injection Extreme Plumping Clicks Lip Gloss in the shade Sweet Lavender. It just tints the lips a little. The other shades in this line are more pigmented. This is more of just like a tint to the lips. But you can see how that just like added a slight cool tone effect to my lips. And I did add just a touch of the Viseart brow powder to the tails of my brows. And that is the final look. All you need now is just a little bit of sass. And if you wanted to, a fun filter. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Love you. Bye. Bye.